Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be making Mexican bean soup in my Instant Pot. I'm quite excited to try this lovely soup. So please make sure you stay tuned. So this is quite an easy recipe and quite straightforward, and you can actually make this vegetarian if you like. What you're gonna need for your Mexican bean soup is 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. So this is from Little's. And 1 large onion, which I'm gonna be chopping up. It asked for 1 red pepper, but I got 2 small red peppers, and this one is seedless, so it's gonna be quite nice and straightforward. 2 cloves of garlic, but I presume if you don't have fresh garlic, you can use dried garlic or garlic granules, whatever you've got at hand. And also it asks for a sachet of Mexican fajita, taco, or chili con carne spice mix. The only chili con carne spice mix I managed to get is from Lidl's, but as I said, if you want to keep this veggie, then you can just use any kind of, you can even use seasoning, some chili flakes if you like. So I'm going to be using this, and 400 grams, which is 1 can of kidney beans, which is red kidney beans in chili sauce. Lidl's did have the red kidney beans, the plain ones, but I thought we'll give it a little bit of a kick. So if you only have the red kidney beans without any sauce, then you need to rinse it. So wash it properly and rinse it until the water will run clear. This is what I'm going to be doing with the next ingredients. So 1 can of red kidney beans, or as I said, you can have the chili sauce one from Lidl's. And we've got 1 can of black beans. So this is in water, but I'm going to be washing this as I mentioned it before. And 1 can of chopped tomatoes. Again, with any kind of, this is just in tomato juice, so you don't need anything with basil or any seasoning, but if you have it, it's not gonna do any harm. And also ask for 900 milliliter, which is 1.5 pints of vegetable or beef stock. So this is again where you can go totally veggie. I'm going to be using vegetable stock, and this is again from Lidl. So what I'm going to do, I think it's 1 cube for 450 ml. So 2 cubes for 900 ml. So that's what I'm going to do. But I have a feeling, if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I always add a little bit more water. But for the stock, I'm going to be using 2 cubes with some boiling water. So I'm just going to mix that up to turn it into vegetable stock. And when we serve it, I'm just going to be using some sour cream on top. And you can also use tortilla chips, but obviously sour cream is advisable if you like sour cream, or you can have sour cream. But the tortilla chips is totally optional. So I will be prepping the ingredients, but I just wanted to show you this little device, which I'm going to be using to chop up the onion and chop up the garlic. So this is a little hand chopper. I must have showed you this in one of my videos. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wash the onion and wash the garlic, clean the garlic, and I'm going to show you. It will take no time to chop everything up, so please make sure you don't go anywhere. So I'm just going to show you how effortless this chopper is. It's unbelievable. You can get all these like electrical gadgets, but what you need to do for this, you can chop pretty much anything up in here. I had not tried chopping nuts, but when I do onions, or I've done peppers in the past, a little escapee onion. So with the garlic, I'm just gonna chop it in half. Everything's jumping out. So okay, what I should have done, actually, I should have put the blade in first. Alright, so let's start again. Okay, I'm gonna let the camera roll because it's just one of those things that happens. And normally I would edit it out, but yeah, why not? That's life, right? So you will be able to see, I don't know if you can see, so I'm crying already. So this little blade got like a little knobby bit at the bottom, the technical term. So you need to line it all up. And this bit goes in there, so it's a square bit. You kind of turn it right because righty-tighty. And then you've got a pull cord and you just pull. And the whole table and the camera will move pupils depending on how small you want to chop it. I mean, look at that. Amazingly quick. Look at that. So I think I got this device from TK Maxx, but it's just I think it might be corded manual chopper. So cheap. I think you probably can pick one up for less than £15. I think it's a really good investment. I've had it for years. So I'm gonna prep everything and I'm gonna get back to you when it's time to pop everything in the Instant Pot. So I got my Instant Pot ready, so I'm just gonna be popping the saute function on, and I'm gonna wait until the oil heats up a little bit, and I'll pop the onion and the red pepper in there and start stirring it and start sauteing it. And then I'm just gonna pop the chili con carne spice mix in with the onion, garlic and red peppers to make it all aromatic. So I got the onion, peppers, garlic and the chili con carne seasoning and seasoning away. It smells absolutely lush. What I didn't mention is sea salt, because I always use sea salt, and I think this is probably the stage when you can taste it and see. But I think you should taste it and see if you need to add a little bit of salt. I just tasted mine and definitely needs a bit more salt because the seasoning is quite bland. It's spicy but not enough salt for me. So I added the red kidney beans and the black beans and a little bit of salt. When you stir, make sure that you do deglaze your pot, because with the Instant Pot you will end up with a burnt notice. So make sure nothing gets stuck to the bottom. And what I'm going to do is, obviously a saute function is off now. I will put the stock in at this stage and I put the chopped tomatoes on the top. The chopped tomatoes, after they go in, make sure you don't stir, because you will end up with a burnt notice on the front of the Instant Pot. If you've been watching my Instant Pot recipes, you know the chopped tomato always goes in last, and I do not stir it because so many times in the past it was driving me crazy. A burn notice came on the front of the Instant Pot, which means, you know, it reached pressure. Then I had to deglaze. It was an absolute nightmare, but I realized whatever I do not stir after chopped tomatoes go in. So the stock next, and on the top, chopped tomatoes, and I'm going to get back to you just before I seal the Instant Pot. So the vegetable stock is in, and the 900 ml actually was the correct amount, so I did not have to add any more liquid. And I put in the chopped tomatoes, and as I said, do not stir. Whatever you do not stir. So the lid is going on. So before I do that, I'm just going to show you the seal is on. So make sure the seal is all around. And it does like singing a song. Alright, so it's on properly. Make sure that your little vent, so this is venting, so you need to seal it, right? Coming on the front. And these are all the settings. I tend to use manual, but I'm going to be using the soup function, which is going to be normal pressure for half an hour. So unless there is an issue, unless there is a burn notice, fingers crossed it's not going to come up, then we don't have to touch this for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, I'm going to do manual release and we're going to check the soup. This recipe is really, according to the recipe book, is really designed for soup makers, but it doesn't really matter. You can make this soup on the stove. I'm making a soup in my Instant Pot. It does not really matter where you make it, because it's a great hearty recipe. So I shall see you back here in 30 minutes, unless there is a burn notice on the front. let's not jinx it. I shall see you in a bit. So time is up. The Instant Pot just gone into natural release. So what I'm going to do, I cancel this because it's been over by 1 minute. And I'm going to undo the vent. Have to be very, very careful. So it's on and off, on and off. Until the little knob goes down. So I said it's just, you have to be super, super careful because it's obviously hot steam. You don't want to burn yourself. Make sure your kids aren't around, pets aren't around, away from the white wall, because it happened to me when I first started using the Instant Pot. Wasn't covered, and the bolognese sauce went on a white wall. So just do this until the little knob will drop. So we release the pressure. You see the little knob is down, and we can open this now. So it does sing another little song when I'm steaming up. Let me just get rid of the steam, step back a little bit more. Check for consistency. It's nice, chunky. Okay, let me taste test it if you need any more salt. No, I think it's absolutely perfect. So I'm going to dish it out, and I'm going to put a dollop of sour cream on the top, and I will give it a go. So I'm just going to be using some sour cream. This is from Lidl's. So when I open the sour cream, always give it a bit of a stir. And put a dollop in there. Bit of a stir. It's going to be lovely with some crusty bread. Okay, let's do another taste test. My favorite part. Absolutely amazing. I think you do need the sour cream to give it a bit of a sourness, if it makes sense. It's lunchtime now, so I can't wait to tuck in. Bon appetit, everybody. I hope you enjoyed today's video and you will give it a go. As I said, you can make it into a veggie one. Just keep an eye on the seasoning. Very nice and hearty recipe. And it's perfect for chilly nights, but again, you can have it throughout the year. And as I said, you can make it in the Instant Pot, on the stove, and in the soup maker as well. Thank you very much for coming to find me today. Thank you very much for coming back if you're an existing viewer. Please don't forget to check out one of my previous recipes when I made pork stew in the Instant Pot. Again, it's a very easy one-pot meal. And please make a comment and let me know how you got on with today's recipe. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Have a lovely day, everybody. Bon appetit. See you in the next one. Goodbye for now.